right. So if you live in the Bay Area or Santa Rosa and or anywhere along the coastline, within like 10 or 20 miles from the coastline, the rain that just showed up means that the first chill factor, the first night that the chill comes through, is going to activate the mushrooms and the Psilocybin Cyanescens and the Psilocybin Allenii in the Bay Area, Sebastopol, and Santa Rosa, and other places, of course, that I don't know. San Jose and shit. There's a risk of poison by the Galerina autumnalis that looks similar, and everywhere that it grows a little bit different. Like they basically grow with the psychedelics, and they're the most deadly. And each little geographical area, right, where you can find Psilocybin Cyanescens and Psilocybin Allenii, they look a little different. They don't look so much alike that you would confuse the two once you knew the difference. But the small ones, when they're popping out, they look the same. So you have to slow down. If you find a whole bunch and you're rushing or something to pick them up and everything, like there's no need to rush. You're just picking mushrooms. If you boil them, they're food. If you boil them, they are a food source. So there's nothing illegal picking mushrooms. What they consider to be an offense is if you dried them out and bagged them. If you boil them, all the psilocybin is deactivated, so then it becomes food. So that's just, because people talk themselves into situations, snitch on themselves because they think that they're doing something wrong, and then they inform on themselves. Like, you're not supposed to tell a cop that you want to sell mushrooms. You know what I mean? Like, you don't do that anyway. Selling drugs is a behavior that if you knew anything better, you would never do that. If you knew a better way, you would never sell drugs. You know what I mean? Why are you want to lose friends? Like, what the fuck? Like, anyways, this is not the kind of drugs I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? People who don't kill each other over mushrooms. And they don't OD. You have to really push hard to OD. Although, if you did a champion dose of mushrooms, you'd probably be afraid next time to do it. Kind of like I am. Like, I'm a big fan of mushrooms. I'm kind of a little bit afraid every time that I do it. And I always wish that I took more. Every time I do it, I always wish I would took more. And your tolerance goes up, so you kind of need to take more, But it's not addictive. You will not, like, as many times as I've done it, I have to psych myself up to do it. Like, I really don't want to. Here's the thing. It just rained, right? It's not really cold yet. If it's cold, even though it's October, and October is usually about a month or two early, don't think they won't come early. Because we don't, like, sometimes the season's a little bit shifted, like more rainy and cold toward the beginning or more rainy and cold toward the back end. And there's like 3 or 4 months in there, so the mushrooms could have already came and gone. Or you might think that you're not going to find any all year and it's too late, and then they pop up in December. That it's going to be hard to find them in January. Even we think January's cold, but January, the chill already came through and everything. And as soon as that chill starts to turn in towards spring, like, and not being that cold anymore, like, you're not going to get no water. I wouldn't, I never, if I find any in January, it's going to be like the first day of January. They're going to be like turning dark colored, like bacteria, which if they do start to turn black, you have to dry it out completely. You cannot eat that. You'll get sick. So, you would have to dry it out completely. And then like there's these little parts on the edge that will turn black. And I don't even think if you dried it out, I don't even think you want that. I don't think there's no psilocybin left in there. Psilocybin is deactivated when it turns blue. So if, you know what I mean, like the blue you see is deactivated psilocybin. It's not going to get you high. I mean, there's still a lot of psilocybin that is still activated in there, but it's less. Okay, so because, you know, if you go beating it up until the mushroom is, you know, working it over and watching it turn blue and blue and blue and blue, you're deactivating it, right? There are some mushrooms that look blue already, but that's not the same thing. They turn blue due to trauma, when you do trauma to it. Some of them that were in Ecuador, they're so strong. If you blow on it, the air from your breath will turn it blue, which is fascinating. The air, you'll see it blew up from the air from breathing on it. So like, I'm not really tripping on putting this information out there, because if you would have to be a hero to fucking eat too many mushrooms. You would have to be a straight up legitimate hero, like a gladiator, like something. That's why they call it a hero's dosage is 5 grams, something. It's like a little over an eighth. But I mean, I've taken an eighth before. No, actually I haven't. I think it is, well, no, it is dark. It is heavier than weed. I'm trying to compare it to weed. It's not going to look like as much as weed if you took an eighth. So I probably have taken an eighth, which means I'm like level 6 or something, level 5. The way I used to think about that, a drug being addicted, your tolerance going up. Oh, you're a drunk, you're a fiend, you're this, you're that. But you actually want, like, it's actually for me, like, I want to get up to those levels, right? I want to get to a higher level. It's counter intuitive. Thing is, like, you can't say generalistic terms that it's illegal. You know what I mean? Like, it's a food source. You can boil it and eat it, and you won't get high at all, because you deactivate the psilocybin when you boil it. So it's a food source, and it's totally legal to pick it. Totally legal. Only thing I would say is illegal is offering it to people or giving it to them without their knowing. Offering it to minors. Don't give it to minors. Don't give it to anybody without knowing. You know what I mean? If they didn't know it was psychedelic or some shit, that's fucked up. And there's personalities like that. With any drug. Anything that they think they got it, and they fucking parse it out, or dispense it or something. What's that called? Parsing? I don't know. I don't think that's a real word. Fucked up. Dispense.